You're watching UnrealEntGaming. This is Beerus, the god of destruction. Make sure you subscribe to UnrealEntGaming and push the like button for me, or else I'll Hakai you from existence.
Oh, and do make sure to watch the entire video all the way through. And to follow UnrealEntGaming on both Instagram and Twitter.
Whiz, enough. On to the video.
With Vados and Champa now having to arrive on planet Sadala following the destruction of Hit and Kefla courtesy of Merno, Vados and Champa are more than curious in finding out why Merno is here, as seen on the previous manga chapter video, with Merno now calling into question the arrival of Champa and Vados in wanting to directly face off against them. The question going forward is, what exactly will Champa and Vados do to rid Universe 6 of the situation that is of Merno, and is it possible for Merno to be destroyed now that Champa and Vados are there, or will Merno simply find a way to counter Vados and Champa in having to complete his plans? Now, before we dive any further into this video, if you are new to the channel and of course have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball and anime related and want to be kept up to date with everything in regards to Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball Super manga, and everything involving the Dragon Ball IP, then I do encourage you guys to go on over and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications to never miss a single video on this channel, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys are simply stoked, ready, and excited to see what the future holds in regards to the Dragon Ball franchise. And with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for your support, and let's dive straight into the video. As our story continues with both Champa and Vados having to oversee Merno's actions following the events of Merno having to destroy Cabba, with Vados visibly concerned and with Champa absolutely perplexed, Champa went on to ask, "Did you see what he just did, Vados? He destroyed Cabba!" And he didn't even hesitate for a moment, as Vados went on to respond, "How could you, Merno? In all my time of knowing him, I never would have imagined for an angel of his caliber to commit such acts of violence on mortals. He's just as dangerous as he was when I remembered him," as Champa went on to shout, "How dare you disrespect me, you slimy reject! I'll have you know that just because I enjoy devouring the most delicious treats in this universe doesn't mean that I've forgotten who I am." With Merno so nonchalantly having to shrug off Champa's comments by asking, "Oh, well, who am I to judge, right, Champa? I'm just a slimy angel, am I right? Well, if you think differently of what I said, then why don't you come and prove it to me then?" But it was only at that moment where instead of Champa stepping in, it was in fact Kale and Kefla, as Kefla went on to shout, "Let's go, Kale! This one is for Cabba! We won't let you get away with this!" But then, Merno went on to so casually backhand both Kale and Kefla away, as he went on to then tell them, "I'm not interested in what the two of you have to offer me anymore. I got what I needed, so you will both wait your turn. I have bigger fish to fry. Isn't that right, mighty destroyer? So what do you say? This is your domain, is it not? Don't you feel the need to rid your domain of the intruder who threatens it? Go on, Champa. I'm ready. Surely if Beerus had the courage to step up, then why don't you?" And Champa is shown visibly annoyed as he went on to respond, "Why? You? Beerus? What do you mean if he stepped up? You battled against Beerus? Your mouth needs to be permanently shut." "What's wrong, coward?" says Merno. "Did I happen to strike a nerve? At least Beerus had enough courage to step up and fight to shut my mouth. But what about you? It seems like the only way to get you to fight is to dangle some food in front of your face and watch you crawl towards it like the little slob you are." And with Champa shown getting visibly angry, he then went on to ask, "Who are you calling a slob? How dare you? If you got a death wish, then I'll gladly be the one to help grant it for you. You think I'm scared of you? You think you're tough? I think all this macho talk is only to scare the mortals into submission. I'm calling your bluff." But it was at that moment where Merno decided to take up Champa's offer, as he went on to ask, "Really? Well, then if you think I'm just an empty vessel with nothing to show for it, then let me set the example for you then. Since you're too fat and lazy to come to me, then why don't I make my way towards you and show you exactly what I mean then. And Champa is shook, but at the same time visibly annoyed as he went on to respond, "God damn it, he's actually coming. I wasn't expecting to get into a fight today, especially after eating. Well, come on then. But just let it be known that this is where you die," as Vados quickly went on to intervene by telling Champa, "Champa, I would highly advise for you not to engage against him. I know my brother better and I know how dangerous he can truly be. Please reconsider," as Champa went on to ask, "Wait, is he really that strong, Vados? He can't possibly be stronger than you, can he? So what do we do?" But right before Merno could get to Champa, out of nowhere behind him, it would only then appear as though there was an attack that was launched directly at Merno, with Merno having to sidestep out of the way by responding, "This again? From behind this time? That fool really thought he could sneak up on me without me knowing." And with both Vados and Champa also getting out of the way, that's when Champa went on to ask, "What in the world is that? Where did that just come from?" with Vados responding, "That attack wasn't meant for us, my lord." And with Merno having to turn his head and noticing that this attack came from none other than by hits, that's when Merno went on to put this into question by asking, "Tell me something, assassin. Do you still think you have any chance of putting me down after everything you've seen? Or is it that you were hit so hard in the head that you're starting to lose your mind? Which one is it? You can barely stand up, let alone hope any of your attacks can successfully connect. Pathetic dog." And with Hit shown visibly frustrated, that's when Hit went on to ask, "So you're stronger than me, so what? That doesn't mean you're unbeatable. Everyone's got a weakness and it won't take long for me to find out what yours is before I use it against you. Face it, you're outnumbered here. If you were smart, you'd take this chance to leave before things get ugly for you against us. With Champa and Vados here, your chances of winning have dropped. But if you want to dance until the end, then we can do that too. I'm ready." As even with Hit noticing that both Kale and Cauliflower are out cold, he then went on to say to himself, "The Saiyans are out cold. I have to figure out a way to get his attention so that we can get these two to safety." But then, before Hit could successfully then make his move, that's when Merno went on to fire a small blast at Hit's leg by telling him, "You talk a very big game for someone who's barely able to stand on their feet. Here, let me make some adjustments. This should ease the pain." And as these attacks are shown having to successfully connect on Hit's legs, that's when Hit went on to say to himself, "He's toying with me. I have to do something in order to make a difference." "Champa, listen to me," Vados says. "I need you to go and bring the Saiyans to safety. You are no match for my brother and he's obviously here because he's looking for a fight. I will do my best to destroy him, and if I can't, then I will do what I can to slow him down. In the meantime, we need the Saiyans alive. They could be useful in this fight against Merno later. Please go. And go now." And that's when Merno went on to redirect his focus back at his sister, as he then went on to address both Vados and Champa, specifically Champa, by asking, "So what's it going to be, you slob? Are you going to come down here and fight me, or are you going to hide behind my miserable sister like a coward? What do you think you're going to do, Vados? I'm not Whis, so don't think you can pull one on me, not after I was the one who helped you train when you were weak." But then, as Merno went along to address his sister, that's when the original Merno went on to contact the clone by telling him, "It would be a shame if you died before getting the chance to take your next breath, clone." As we only then get to see how the original Merno lies in the dark dimension waiting, he went on to then address the clone by telling him, "You are not there to put on a show, nor are you there to fool around with these ridiculous creatures. You are on a mission to collect the power and knowledge I need in order for the great merger to be complete. Failure to do so will result in a punishment worse than death itself. I am growing very impatient of your antics, clone. If you don't collect what I have asked you to claim, then I will erase you from the face of existence. This is your only chance to take what you can from the angel and bring it all back to me. Destroy her if you want, but do not forget your mission. I want everything you can find and obtain from the Sixth. Everything. Leave nothing behind. You will destroy these mortals along with the gods and return to me at once. And if you don't, there will be no universe or dimension that will keep you in hiding from me." And with the clone Merno having to recognize the threat and message from the original, that's when the clone went on to respond, "Yes, Understood. I will carry out the task now and finish the job here. And with Merno doing exactly that by now having to charge directly at Vados, that's when Merno went on to comment, "It's been quite a long time since we last battled, Vados. I hope you haven't forgotten the beating I used to give to you, but just in case you have, then let me refresh your memory then, for old time's sakes." And that's when Vados went on to tell Champa, "Quickly, Champa, I will do what I can. In the meantime, secure the Saiyans and wait for my signal. He's too dangerous for you to fight alone like this. We need a plan." And with Champa shown having to leave, he then went on to respond, "You better be right about this, Vados." As only then seconds later, Merno went on to strike Vados, with Vados having to move out of the way by telling him, "You have gotten yourself into a lot of trouble, Merno. You know as well as I do that the Grand Priest and the Omni Kings will not stand for any of this." "And what have they done to stop me?" says Merno. "Absolutely nothing." With of course Vados having to use her staff in her attempts of striking Merno, with Merno shown blocking, he then went on to put this into question by asking, "Tell me something. Does the Grand Priest still have a chain of command to answer to? He can't use this power or influence to do anything about it unless approved by Zeno, correct? And why does it even matter?" Vados asks. And with Merno shown having to retaliate by punching Vados into the distance, he then went on to address her by stating, "Because then that means I have all the time in the world to do what is needed in order to get what I've came here for. You foolish slave, imagine following the rule of law that is enforced by mindless children like the Omni Kings." To in which, as this is happening, Champa went on to lift up Kale and Caulifla by telling them, "Hey, Saiyans, get up! Hurry, we need to leave right now. Vados says we need the two of you alive. We may not be enough to stop him, so we need a plan." As Caulifla went on to respond, "Champa, what about Hit? We can't leave him." And with Champa turning his head, he then went on to respond, "Yes. What about Hit? Look at him. He's up to something. I can feel it. Hit would rather die in battle than retreat. Hey, Hit! Are you coming or not?" And with Hit shown slowly having to attempt to stand back up, he then went on to respond, "I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this again, but this guy's something else. Just goes to show I have a long way to go, but I'm not giving up just yet, not without a fight. My body feels like it's falling apart, but I still have one more move I've yet to try on him. It'll take everything I have in order for this to work. I'm not sure what the result will be, but I have to try. Lord Champa, listen to me. Take the Saiyans and get as far away from here as you can. I'm not leaving, not until I see him broken in pieces. I have to carry out my mission until the end. I can't let him leave this planet. Leave me here and go." As Champa went on to respond, "An assassin's pride until the end, huh? Well, suit yourself. Good luck then, Hit. Do your best." And with Hit having to stand back up and observing Vados having to fight Merno, that's when Hit went on to comment, "Just look at them go. I can't even keep my eyes on their movements. So this is the Battle of Angels, huh? I need to pick my spots very carefully with this one. One wrong move and it could all be over." And as of course we then notice how Vados is attempting to strike Merno, with Merno having to dodge everything, that's when Merno went on to ask, "What's wrong, Vados? You seem to be struggling to keep up. Either you've truly fallen from grace or you're holding back more power than what you're letting off. Because either way, my precious little snake of a sister." As Merno winds up vanishing through one of his portals, he then went on to respond, "There is nothing that you can do to stop my plans. Even if somehow you defeat me now, my original will come for you." As he went on to sneak up behind Vados and grabbing her by the back of the neck, that's when Merno continues, "And he will come with a vengeance unlike anything you've ever seen before. Your power is going to be very useful in this war. That's why I want all of it. A skillful sister you are. It's too bad you decided to stand on the wrong side of history." But then Vados went on to break through Merno's vice grip, as she went on to then tell him, "The only one standing on the wrong side of history, Merno, is you." As she ended up back kicking Merno directly up in the face as Merno went stumbling back, that's when he went on to then shout, "Why, you cunning little rat. So, you were hiding something from me this entire time. I just felt it. You're holding back." As of course he then went on to spit blood, he then continues, "I'll admit, that was a very lucky shot, but I can also promise you that you won't be getting lucky against me again. Would you look at this now? You made me spit my own blood out. Impressive. Not bad." All the while on the ground, we get to see how Hit is getting into a very familiar pose as he went on to say to himself, "This time, you won't be so lucky to escape. not after this one, as Merno went on to continue. So, why exactly are you holding back? Are you not confident in your ability to kill me, or is there something else that you're not telling me? As Vados went on to respond, what's wrong? Hard to tell? I'm sure you can figure it out by now, but just in case you're wondering, maybe I am, or maybe I'm not. You seem a little rattled. Did that upset you? You've been a problem since day one, but I guess we'll be settling this score soon, won't we? So, shall we resume? It would be a shame if you gave up now, as only then the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of Merno vs. Universe 6 manga chapter special then comes to a close. Now, there are only 2 more chapters left until this series is finished, and because of that, we are now beginning to near the story of the original Merno ever so closer, because after this series is over and done with, we have one more tale to tell, one more series to feature before we then jump straight into the story of the original Merno then having to invade the multiverse, which again is going to tie everything together in regards to Merno vs. Universe 6, Merno vs. Universe 11, and Merno vs. Universe 7, along with the upcoming series we have planned. So to get there, we do have a massive like goal for this video, as of course we are currently working on the next manga chapter, which of course the like goal for this video is going to be 5,000 likes. So all you guys have to do is smash that like button by giving this video a big fat thumbs up. If you guys cannot wait to see the upcoming manga chapter, which of course once the like goal is met, then we are going to be putting out the video relatively soon. But in the comment section below, what I want to know from you guys is, with Hit now getting ready to use his time cage, which is something we haven't seen go down since used against Jiren during the Tournament of Power, do you think Hit's time cage is going to work against Merno, and is it possible that Vados and Hit can actually get the job done, or is Merno simply going to fulfill the original's desire in getting what he wants and having to return? So again, thank you all so much for watching, thank you all so much for your time. If you guys are new, then be sure to go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn on all notifications, tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys down in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for being here, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace! And a quick little reminder before you exit the video, if you guys are unaware, follow me on my secondary channels, which are also used to discuss and talk about all kinds of different subjects and topics, including gaming and live streams, beginning with Unreal Network, which is a channel dedicated in discussing all kinds of movies, breakdowns, current events, scary stories, theories, and more. So if you are someone who is into the entertainment world, then that's the channel for you. So head on over and subscribe over on Unreal Network, which up next is Unreal Vlogs, where I bring you guys a little closer into my life in taking you behind the scenes with vlogging content, parody videos, reactions, motivational videos, uplifting videos, and more. So if you want to get to know me on more of a personal level, then that's the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button to always be in the loop with Unreal Vlogs. And lastly, my gaming channel, Unreal Royale, where on that channel we dive more into the world of gaming, ranging from all different kinds of video games, from Dragon Ball to Resident Evil to Grand Theft Auto, Halo, Gears of War, Minecraft, all kinds of horror games, shooters, RPGs, and more, including live streams. So if you're a gamer and are into the gaming world, then smash that subscribe button over at Unreal Royale and experience the ride with me. I want to thank you all so much for your time, thank you all so very much for your support, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you in the next video.
This is the Galactic Emperor of the Universe, and of course I'm here to tell you to subscribe to UnrealEntGaming.
Also follow UnrealEntGaming on these social media platforms to stay connected at all times. And if you don't, then very soon you will all be dead! Oh, did someone say UnrealEntGaming? Oh my god.
The fuck, Zobon? Put on some clothes!
Well, why don't you put on any clothes?
What? I don't need clothes, but Jesus Christ, that's huge! What, Broly?
Freezer.
Uh-oh.
Prepare to die!
But once you get video, lots of likes, or Bill will turn you into chocolate!
Vados, get over here! Tell these mortals that I'm the biggest UnrealEntGaming fan. This is my moment. I'm a part of his notification squad. Universe 7 can have all the fun. I just want the food.
And don't forget to leave a comment on this video. Show some love for the best community on YouTube.
Kakarota!